Hey everyone, how are you? It is so nice to see you and be seen. We got another sponsor spotlight for the EP Mixer in North Palm Beach, Florida on Thursday, February 16th. It is right around the corner when we're filming this. It is February 5th, and I am on with one of our sponsors from OPStructure and the owner of OPStructure, Steve Albritton. Steve, good to see you. Thanks for doing that.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's
No,
awesome.
no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Happy
appreciate
to
it.
yeah,
Yep.
so glad that we were able to connect on this. I know I think we had maybe talked about it, and maybe we didn't talk about it. I thought we talked about maybe at CPC, but
Yeah.
um but
Yep.
either way we were to get hooked up here. So anyway,
Good.
um we're gonna jump right in here and
Sure.
kind of
Let's do it.
knock this out. And so tell us about your company. Tell us something about OpStructure that's new that some maybe we don't know yet or maybe hasn't made it out there, or just whatever it is that you want to share about OpStructure, where you are and all that.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot new. I mean, I'm just keep grinding it out year after year as we all do. Of course, I started OpStructure in January of 2018. So this has been what, 5 years now, and I can't believe it feels like a year. But I transitioning from a corporate office in Seattle and working for a NFL NBA team owner for quite a few years, and I was it was that time. I couldn't do the 300 days a year travel anymore, so I moved back to Florida because I'm a native of Florida. You probably hear my accent. It actually is a Floridian accent, the Panhandle. But
Okay.
yeah, I started OpStructure, and I mean, started OpStructure as basically a ground up built company. Originally, I just started because it was just me, and I said, you know what, I'm done with the corporate structure for a little while. I'm done. I'm just going to do my own thing. And man, Craig, you know how this industry is. Before you know it, people are calling you, hey, could you have someone here? Hey, do you know someone here? Can
Yeah.
you do that? And I'm just like, hey, I just started my company, but so then you realize real quick that you get drug into something that you might started just for you alone, and then now I'm up to like 20 guys and just running
Well,
running crazy now.
you,
But
you
but I
become a
typically
victim of your own
focus on the
success, right?
high net worth family and corporate C-suite. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as you said, you become a victim of your own success. So people start asking you, and hey,
Yeah,
can you meet? Where do you have people? Where do can you do more? And the
that's
answer,
it.
of course, is always yes, and we'll figure it out after after we get off the phone. So
Yeah, and I mean it makes it a little easier too, coming from being an EP manager for a big corporation. You're kind of plugged into that network already as far
mhm.
as support vendors, and I mean I've been so blessed and very fortunate that I understand a lot of things from the get-go. I understood the corporate structure and master service agreements and scope of works and all the and also coming from the West Coast really helped me moving back to the East Coast. I definitely that was a feather in my hat and helped me out quite a bit. But yeah, I OpStructure's just a ground up built company, and we to be honest, what I focus specifically on, and I constantly this goes into the networking piece of it, is just high quality staff for me. I don't I don't I'm not a cookie cutter. I don't just throw stuff at jobs. Like I have vendors all the time that call me and ask me, hey, can you do this? No, I don't focus on that. I don't have the staffing for that,
Mhm.
and I pass it along. I know what my niche is, and I stay in that niche. I don't stray off of that, because I know for me success, it might be the control freak in me too. Is I like to have control of what I'm doing,
Sure.
and I can kind of control the success of it. I don't want a runaway train. So, but I specifically focus on high quality guys working, because that is the bread and butter of this industry, are the people.
Mhm.
And you can get you can have a runaway train real fast before you don't even know who's driving the train, and you're the one supporting it. So
Right. Sure.
yeah.
Well, so with that, you mentioned staff. So where do you rank, and how you get your stuff? Like, where do you rank networking in in your toolkit? Like, like how important is it to you or to your company? and for what reason, whether it's staffing or vendors or partners or whatever.
Yeah, man, the networking, I didn't put as much emphasis on, and I think a lot of the younger guys probably don't because they don't quite understand that yet. There are some younger guys that do it in the industry. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 something years now. And in the beginning, I mean, I networked, but it was in such a small little capacity. It was in the little town I was in. It was the law enforcement guys because I was in law enforcement before, and it was a small network. I really didn't understand how to get outside of that. But at this point, networking is it. I mean, it's the key to finding staffing. It's the key to vendors, getting vendors. It's the key to the clients. You finding the clients and the clients being able to find you because it's a two-way street. But I would say, man, the networking piece, you can't do enough of it. And I get like that. I get burned out sometimes to where I'm just like,
For
man,
sure.
I'm burned out. I've got overload. I can't. And then I have to it's kind of like going underwater and catching you got to come back up and catch your breath and go back down. And I do that too. I have to focus, on my time and how much time I can spend on that. But networking definitely is the key to this industry. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to succeed, you got to be able to network.
Right. Well, you talk about, like I would say overwhelmed, but just like burnout and things like that. When
Yep.
you go to, or I know when I'm at like CPC, it's a finite time where all those people are there. And I'm like,
Yes,
I
I
know
know.
I'm going to be tired. I know my voice is going to be shot. I know, I know I'm going to feel like I got to get away a little bit.
Sure.
But then you got to kind of dig and just keep, 5 minute break,
That's
you get
it.
away, find a corner for a second, check some emails, and then go right back at it because it's so
Yeah.
finite
Yeah.
to be the room will never be the same. All this, a lot of the same people might be there, but not everybody's going to be the same, and you don't know who you're going to meet on that one, in that one time, especially when when you have the opportunity to be face to face. And so yeah, but
Yeah.
there was a group of younger guys that were there. I remember they were running around kind of together, and they were it seemed to be quick to stop and talk. And so when you kind of figure out who was where and what they were doing, kind of like, okay, good, they're out there doing it, and hopefully they'll follow up like they should, because that's the sauce right
Yeah.
there, like, because otherwise it didn't you might as well not even gone, because it's
Yeah.
on you, right? So anyway, I don't want to keep prattling on here, but I kind of combined that one question with like, where in your toolbox is it to where do you use the networking for, and whether that's in the industry or finding clients or finding whoever. But you're saying kind of for you, it's all of it. It's all
It's all
essentially
of it.
word of
Yeah.
mouth,
It's all
and
of it.
and sure, yeah, I
Yep.
got you. So, well,
Yeah.
then, since
Yeah.
we kind of combined that together, is there a success story that you could share, whether one that you know of or one that you've experienced with, where it was a network of, like, hey, I really knocked it out of the park because of this person helped me out, or I knew them here, or they gave me a great hire, or anything like that?
Man, I've had so many of those. I will say I'm the type of guy, I don't really believe in luck. I just I don't believe in coincidences. Things happen for a reason. And I would say, man, I've had so many success stories like that. I mean, for me, my biggest success story for me personally in this industry was having the opportunity to be an EP manager for a large corporation. I mean, that's to me, that is my success story for me personally, because
Mm-hmm.
that was what catapulted me into being able. I mean, I felt like I was like a mule with blinders on, and then I went from a mule with blinders to a racehorse where I could see everything, and I was running laps. And
How did you
so
find that
for
job?
me, that was my biggest success. So
Okay.
yeah, that you know what that job, and this is a funny, and actually it was a network. That job was referenced to me by a my wife's first cousin who had worked
Okay.
for the owner in the
Okay.
music department for over 20 years. And
Oh, that's funny.
it was just a side thought. It was just a thing. He said, "Oh yes, so and so is looking for blah blah blah. And of course, I had just came back from Iraq for 2 years, worked for the Department of State, and it just happened to be it was just this perfect timing. And that's how I found out. I didn't find out by a recruiting a bulletin or anything like that. It was a
Mhm.
network of not my relative, but a distant relative
Sure.
who worked for the company,
Yeah.
and just kind of had enough of knowledge about what I did and what they needed there. So, and
Yeah.
that's how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's just like there it was kind of
it was
latent
there.
until you asked the right question, you said the right thing. You just like you said, you just came back. Like, timing, I'm such a big believer in timing. Like
It's
sometimes
timing.
it might be the perfect fit, but just not right now. But then you have to know, and that's one of those other things. Like you get into personal development, like, where are you in your, in a process or in a journey, or I don't really like that term, but it's like you're in something and then you're out of DOS you're there for 2 years, and then you come back and looking for something probably a little bit, I guess maybe to say safer, and something
Yeah,
at least not traveling those awful roads over there, but you
yeah,
know
or just for being gone.
just
I thought
right, yeah,
I
you
thought
actually
I
get to
didn't
hang
want
out
to
with
be
your wife
gone.
now, isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's right. And I thought I didn't want to be gone. I was like, oh, I won't have to be gone for 330 days out of the year,
Yeah.
which which was incorrect actually. But because in that corporate job, I mean, you could only do that job. I don't see how guys do those jobs like that with an owner with the type of owner I worked for,
Hmm.
because we had 10 guys full time, literally on the road 24/7. And I could have used 20 guys to be honest, but I didn't
Yeah.
have the budget for that many people. But
Mhm.
we were running a good 300 days a year, all of us. I mean, it
Man.
was
Yeah.
nonstop from
Yeah.
almost every continent too.
I
It
was
was
gonna
one
say,
of those
yeah, and you're all over the world. It's not like
all over
not
from
like just in your
Africa to
town, you
Europe
know.
to no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
So
everywhere.
anyway, so for me, that was a success story for me personally. But I've
Cool.
had many successful networking. I mean, IPSB has been a super success for me in
Sure.
general too. Every
Yeah.
year I go, I come back and I meet a terrific group of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are two good things. Folks, whoever's watching this, look into your family, see what they're doing, or your family's
Yep.
family, and
Yeah.
and get to the conference. These are no
Yeah.
joke. Especially this last year was really I mean, it was populated. There was a ton of vendors and a ton of sponsors. I mean, I think there was right around 90. I mean, just
Yeah.
by
Yeah. It was
kind of going
awesome.
by the rows and
It
counting
was
and
quite.
doing the multiplication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's the old saying, and it's true, that if you want to be successful, pretty much in anything you do, if you've been in the industry or been even dabbled in it, your success is probably in your Rolodex. We don't carry a Rolodex anymore
Hmm.
but
Yep.
in your phone, it's
Yeah.
probably there already. You just don't
Hmm.
know it. So anyway, that's
Right. Dude, that's
it's
so
there.
funny. I like who is it? I think it was Zig Ziglar said something like, you can have everything you want in life if you just help other people get what they want in life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
and
true.
and I think about that, it's like, well, you already know a ton of people, and
Yeah.
a ton of people, and the big piece of that is a ton of people already know you. And then you say it's not what you know, it's who you know. Well, yeah, but it's who knows you and how. And
Yeah.
so that's the big thing, because I can, you can say, hey, I met, whoever, and I met Steve at IPSB, but I never followed up with him. And I remember we had a great conversation, and I know that he has work, but I never follow up with him, and I
Yeah.
never stay in
Yeah.
touch, and I don't offer,
Yeah.
I
And
don't
we're all
offer
guilty of
assistance
that.
or anything. What's that?
We're all guilty of that.
Oh,
We've all
you
done
do
that.
a
We all
hundred
do it all the
percent.
time.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I know I've missed out on stuff through the years. Just, I mean, not even necessarily around the protection industry, but I'll, get on the horn with somebody. This when I was, excuse me, when I was out in Vegas, and they're like, oh, you're still in town. I'm like, well, no, I'm back in town, and I never stayed in touch, and I
Sure.
bounced in and out of Vegas a
Yeah.
number of times, but it was just the fact that I didn't stay in touch that like I should have, and it doesn't even have to be big. It's just, and it's not always asking for stuff, right? But it's just like, hey, checking in.
Yeah, that's right.
My buddy Eric Butch, he was I don't know if you remember him. You weren't the one 2 years ago, I don't think. Anyway, Eric's a pretty memorable guy. But he'll just text me, hey man, what are you doing? just wanting to know, like, what am I doing right then and there? Hey man, what are you doing? And then we just chit chat for a little bit, and then he's off,
Yeah.
doing what he's doing. I'm back to doing whatever I'm doing, but he's always top of mind because he's always just checking in. So anyway, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah. I
are
would say
you?
we all do that with our networks here.
Oh, well, yeah, and it's a lot of work. There's
Yeah,
a
just using your I was going to say just using. If I give guys advice, like just using your platforms, your WhatsApp, your LinkedIn's, or I mean,
Mhm.
your WhatsApp, your Telegrams, and getting all your guys on one platform. To me, that has been awesome because then you can just do quick check-ins all the
Yeah,
time. You're not constantly trying to call people. I mean, we
yeah.
use that. My whole network, we're on those all the time, and yeah, I do that as well. I just check in with guys, and they appreciate it, and I appreciate it too.
Oh yeah,
When
for
somebody just
sure.
checks
Yeah.
in. But anyway,
There
yeah,
there
all as well.
there's a it's called Dunbar's number, and
Yeah,
essentially it's like you can effectively manage 150 relationships in a year, like
yeah, and
effectively.
that's
And then
about
but yeah, but then they grow, they talk about, oh, maybe it's 1,500 if you do this, and so, but I think like it's 150. So I guess you have to decide where you're going to assign the time to,
yeah,
for those 150 people, or
that's it.
150. Yeah. So,
And your energy.
and well, 100%.
Yeah,
Well, and that's why it's like when you dump, when it's a big energy dump the conference, the CPC, and but there's going to be a return. It's going to be down the road, and that's not necessarily, it's because
right.
not everybody that you meet there is going to be necessarily able to help you, but you're going to be able to help somebody
Yeah,
else. And
that's
if you
right.
do that,
Yeah,
sometimes you get further ahead being able to do that. So,
sure.
um, now this event that we're having in North Palm Beach, I assume as a sponsor, I'd like to think anyway, that you are planning to in fact be there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I plan on being there. I spend a lot of time. That's my second home down there anyway, work wise. And I actually have a place I stay down there all the time because of work. So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'll actually come down with a couple of guys from Orlando, and it's only that's about 2.5 hour drive for us. So we'll
Yeah,
overnight and come back. So all is
sure.
well. That's a great location to have a network. So sure is.
Yeah, it seemed like far enough out. Well, obviously it's way out of Miami, but but then we started
Yeah,
going north, and I thought that would just be better to, maybe pull some people from Miami or from Orlando, and then maybe from Tampa and maybe
yep,
Jacksonville and
yep.
wherever else they are.
Just all up and down
Um,
that corridor there.
right,
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, right at the kind of the ends of the highways
that's it.
of Florida. So anyway, well, listen,
Well,
Steve,
cool.
I appreciate you taking the time here. Um, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sponsoring. I'm so glad we were able to get you
Yeah,
on
that's awesome.
and
I
get
look
you,
forward to it.
since we're in Florida. So, all right, folks. Well, listen, that's Steve Albritton. Again, it's going to be in North Palm Beach, Thursday, February 16th, and
16th.
I hope there's still room. So, head to
Yep.
epmixer.com, get yourself registered, and
Yeah, we got a lot of
we'll see you
guys
in Florida.
coming. That's
Yeah,
good.
at this point there's over 90 that are registered.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, so cool. Steve,
Okay.
again, thank you so much. And
Yeah, take care.
see you.
Look forward to seeing you.